Soccer situation.
Harder to figure it all out once you're hot. This stuff is like, it does really smell like blueberry, similar to blueberry muffins.
It does?
It's like really like blueberry, like pastry smelling. It's nice.
Oh, that's nice, dude.
Yeah, it's super nice.
That's very nice. I have not been exploring or experimenting much with the exotics of California yet, but a little bit.
Yeah.
With that, folks, welcome to episode 74. This is 74.3. I think a new record for attempts to record a single episode. Sorry about that, Alex.
Nice.
I've been going through it out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think settling into the new place, drawing some new boundaries with the job, and the new job is most importantly hiring new baristas. So hopefully I don't have to be on call like an emergency heart surgeon to serve lattes.
Yeah, like
I have
every
been
day
for the past month. Yeah. Yes. So welcome, folks. In this episode, we got a good episode. We chose a good time to come back.
That's true.
Arsenal have beaten Chelsea. I don't know if that's the headline, but I think probably where some of us want to start. Newcastle have won their first major trophy in 70 years. I think that probably should have been the top headline.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Very graciously conceded to them by Liverpool. And we're going to look at the Champions League quarterfinals. Cool matches coming up.
Good stuff.
Sadly, Liverpool not involved there either. And, look around the Prem as usual.
Yeah.
You know?
Some other fun shenanigans around the league.
Yeah. There's, we had fun results. Fulham, Tottenham.
Was
we had
fantastic.
Brighton, Manchester City this past week. That was a huge
Beautiful.
game. And, we'll even look at a little MLS action this week. And we'll travel abroad. We'll revisit the Balkans for a little fun update.
Nice.
But before any of that, Alex, follow us on Instagram, folks. It's Instagram/Soccer Situations Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on YouTube at Soccer Situations. You want to be seeing these cat cameos.
Sure, they're
You
both
wanna
in here,
see,
so there's potential.
Yeah. I might eventually develop a more exotic set for myself here in Los Angeles. So you'll want to watch that evolution unfold in real time, episode to episode. I have no decor in my room whatsoever at the moment.
I mean, my shot on camera is actually just like a white wall behind me, so...
That's professional studio work, Alex. Nice work. That's professional broadcast standards. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok at Soccer Situations.
Yes. What is that? What are you drinking
Gulp,
there?
gulp, gulp. Just a little cold brew.
Ah, okay.
Late in the day for both of us, later for you, obviously, but later than I should be having cold brew. But
I mean, look at... I'll show you this.
Hey-oh. Well,
New seasonal Red Bull.
wait, that's a new seasonal? I thought that was a Sea
Yeah.
Blue. I can't see it well enough.
This is Grapefruit and Blossom Spring
Shut-
Red Bull.
Shut the F up. There's a new grapefruit Red Bull and you didn't tell me about it?
Yeah.
How come no one told me about this grapefruit Red Bull?
I'm going to tell me how good the cheese was. Yeah, spring edition, man. They put out like 2 new flavors for spring.
That's incredible news. And so timely, Alex. I don't know if you looked through the running order yet, but actually caffeine is another topic of the day. So
I did look
nice
through the running
work.
order, actually. That's perfect.
That's beautiful. I love that. All right. Did I say listen to us on Apple Podcasts, folks? Go there, rate, review, subscribe, follow us
All
on
the
Spotify. Even give us a token, give us a pity follow on one of those services if you have to.
Even if you don't use it.
Yeah. Everything helps, folks.
It's true. This is true.
Alex, what else has been going on with you? Let's have a little casual corner. I didn't build it into the running order this week, but I feel like we haven't talked in a while.
Casual corner. What's going on with me, man? Everyone around me is sick all the time.
Oh, we've been going through that too, actually, out here.
It's spreading like crazy.
I always assume my employees are just faking it, but everyone's been sick lately.
They could be faking it. No, Rosie was sick for like 2 weeks, and then I think our friends Harrison and Alicia from Foliage and Flower, they were both sick for like weeks.
Oh, geez.
I
That's a
somehow
bummer.
have dodged it. I think Chris just got that stomach virus. Like,
Y'all got the bird flu?
it's scary out here. No bird flu yet. Hopefully not. Hopefully no bird flu.
Yeah, I actually had a little bug too. I think 2 weekends ago, James gave me this awesome bed,
Yeah.
and I went over to his house to get it. The deal was obviously I disassemble and move it, as it tends to be with free furniture deals amongst friends.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I did that, disassembled it, was waiting for him to come help me move it with the van. And same. I got super, like, out of nowhere, mega nauseous and headache.
Damn.
And it was gross for like 2 days. That's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What is it?
that's the way
Seasonal- I feel like
seasonal
it's a winter or
allergies,
seasonal change,
sick.
but when people talk about seasonal changes here, I'm like, you guys are crazy. It's been summer the whole time I've been here.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Nothing changes ever. It's the same. It's beautiful always.
Speaking of, I made like my weekly call to brag about the weather to Dad. And on the day, oh man, I was stunned to find he actually had better weather than me. It was like 45, 50 here, and it was 60 degrees in Michigan, he tells
Oh
me.
man, we've had some beautiful days. Some
Nice,
beautiful
dude.
days here.
Spring's a coming.
Spring is a coming. Yeah, we just had snow like yesterday or 2 days ago, but
Okay.
it's immediately going to be 60 again tomorrow. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
Congrats.
yeah, I'm loving it.
I'd say get Dad down to Riverside, check out some babes, but there's never any babes at Riverside.
There's a couple down. There's some down there occasionally. I took Bailey
Yeah?
down there the other day, but
Nice.
it's like there's like you see 12 people the entire time you're there.
Yeah,
like maybe
yeah.
4 of them are babes.
Yeah, it's a little thin.
It's a weirdly
cool.
quiet park for how beautiful it is.
For how nice it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
I miss
it's the
that
best
park,
park.
definitely. How is Bailey doing? I was thinking the other day I miss Bailey.
Oh,
The
Bailey is.
cats obviously get a lot more attention from me, but
Yeah, yeah.
I miss
Bailey's
the
good.
Bailey girl too.
She's fatter than ever right now, living with Dad. But we've been with the nice weather. We've been walking a ton, which is great.
That's awesome.
Good for both of us.
Yeah.
If I can drag her around, actually, lately she's been real stubborn. I've literally been pulling her around the neighborhood sometimes.
She's like, I want to get back to the couch with the old man.
Yeah, he's probably got food. He probably went and got new snacks while I was gone.
Yeah, that's a disaster.
It is a disaster, but it's been fun. It's good. She terrorizes poor Gravy.
She does?
Yeah, not in like a mean way, but
Yeah, but
she'll chase his Gravy around.
She gets after Gravy. That's
yeah,
funny.
I don't know why she doesn't like Gravy. It's funny.
That is, well, she just loves Twigs so much, right?
She does
probably
love
like,
Twigs.
It's just like rivalry stuff. I don't know. Animal
she-
politics.
She's picking our favorite for sure.
She does have a favorite. She always has, to be fair. I didn't know she got after Gravy, but it's obvious that she loves Twigs to death.
Yeah, Twigs is the only animal I've ever seen her like truly accept.
Animal or person other than you.
That's true. That is true.
She's pretty nice to me sometimes. Like she randomly would flop on me, but yeah, it's her connection with Twigs is notable. And like if you know Bailey, you notice it.
Yeah, because she's not like that with any other animals.
No,
She barks at everything.
it's a good pick. I gotta say, Twigs is a sweet guy.
He is. He's the best. Big dingus. I've been living that barista life out here for Littlefoot.
Is that fun?
It's been pretty fun. Yeah.
Y'all building a little following there?
It's getting there. Yeah, the weekends are good. Saturdays are
Nice.
good. Fridays are starting to pick up. I'm hoping with the weather and everything. We're doing some revamps to the warehouse too. We're putting some nice wallpaper up. Gonna put some booth seating in the second warehouse. It's gonna be
Yeah,
nice.
you told me about that. That's really cool. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
I think it's gonna look awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're building a pretty cool, like, unique little spot.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take some effort to drive traffic, but I think we can do it.
I'm sure you can.
It's definitely nothing like it in town, which is great.
Better coffee, cooler people, nice, interesting space.
Interesting space. It's everything
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, truly.
Funny gossip. If you come in at the right time, you'll get some fun gossip from us. We love gossiping.
Boy, I love some goss, dude. There's nothing better than hot goss.
My favorite's when we forget that we have customers in the other room and we're gossing, and then we all look at each other like, Is someone here
wait.
still?
How does sound travel in there? Probably pretty well.
Pretty well, yeah, pretty well. No, we're not usually saying anything crazy, but every once in a while we forget there's customers. We're not
That's
used
really
to that
funny.
yet.
Truly.
We got some good drinks though. Rosie's back on her syrup making game.
Yeah.
She
Kicking
made
out some
like a
tasty stuff.
Jasmine, it's like a jasmine syrup, a fresh lavender honey. We get some like ginger, like a ginger brown sugar syrup.
Nice spring lineup, much like Red Bull, rolling out the spring flavors.
Yes, yes. Spring season is here.
It is. Spring is a-coming, but the Premier League is not over yet, Alex. Let's transition.
All right.
We're going to start outside the Prem, obviously. We had our first Cup final of the season this weekend. The Carabao Cup, Newcastle
There it
2,
is.
Liverpool 1. Liverpool limp out of yet another cup competition, as they have with all of them. Kind of dropped out. What's this word? Ignominiously. That's such a hard word to say.
That is
but you know what I
That
mean.
is difficult. Yes, yes.
Ignominiously. Liverpool pretty casually dropped out of all the cup competitions this year.
Yeah,
FA
right?
Cup made me sad. Of course, Champions League lost to PSG made me the saddest.
Heartbreak.
That one was I got to give it to PSG. Deserved to go through. Well,
It's true.
maybe elaborate on that a little bit. Now, I've been well established on the record that I don't really care about the Carabao Cup, the League Cup.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
not my thing. Liverpool have won it a billion times.
Yeah.
And I still don't get excited about it. So I feel I'm not trying to sound petty or disingenuous, but I really am almost a little bit happy that Newcastle won it. They're
Right?
they're so stoked on it, dude.
I mean, they were amped. Like Bruno was crying. They were some real emotion. I mean, you did kind of feel good for them for that fan
Liverpool,
base.
I mean, 70-year wait for
I didn't
one
realize it
of the,
was
one
that
of the
long.
biggest clubs in England.
Yeah, I did not realize it was that long.
It's crazy. Yeah, as they were saying in the build-up, like whole generations of fans have like come and
never
gone
witnessed
basically
that.
without seeing a trophy. And even though it is just the League Cup, obviously it is. It's a major domestic trophy. They're excited about. They're already talking about this squad being like legends in the history of the club.
Right?
So,
mean-
it looked like they wanted it more during the game, and it
True.
seems in every aspect they really did.
I mean, they you know, you got to say they earned it along the way. Didn't they beat they beat you guys, they beat Chelsea. I think they beat us.
Yeah. Wait, did they really beat all three of those teams? I didn't realize
I think
that.
they really did. I think they beat all three of those teams in the competition. So like they definitely earned this Carabao Cup.
For sure. Yeah, so genuinely congratulations to Eddie Howe, who Eddie Howe is a manager that's been on the rise. We've been talking about him as long as this pod has existed.
Yeah, since
His first major trophy.
Bournemouth days, he's been on the rise. He's been a hot
Right.
young manager for a while. He's probably not
Yeah.
that young anymore.
Obviously, we have mixed feelings about Newcastle with the Saudi ownership, but overall, it's a pretty feel-good story. There's a lot of good players in that team, a lot to admire. The growth from Howe has been undeniable, and it's a nice story overall. Happy for Pete Donaldson at the Football Ramble, the longest-serving Newcastle fan that we know of. Not that we know him
right.
personally, but
That was it's got to be a big moment. I saw that they said they were predicting him showing up extremely hungover for the Ramble on Monday.
yeah, I would hope so. Good job. Pete
As
likes
he
to
should.
live young. Like me, middle-aged man that still acts like he's like 22 years old. Good for you, Pete.
He lives it up.
Yeah, but the game itself, goals from Dan Byrne and Alex Isak on either side of halftime for Newcastle. I think that kind of tells the story of Newcastle's season. I think those are their kind of current talismans at the front and back.
Yeah, Dan Byrne header. What a header that was!
Yeah, truly.
Pinpoint header.
Yes. Isak's goal, more of just not a scrappy goal, but a workman, but a clinical finish.
Yep.
Yeah, they got the job
Classic
done.
striker's goal.
Yeah, Liverpool saw a little consolation from Chiesa, which I'm not mad about, but
It was a good
obviously
goal.
yeah, it was. It was. I don't know if we want to just come right onto this topic, but the stats that have poured out since the final about Mo Salah being in like 11 finals in his time at Liverpool and never having scored except for penalties. He's scored 2 penalties, and that's it. That's his only contribution to goals in cup finals.
In cup finals,
In
really?
11 finals total.
Damn, that's a lot.
It's a little bit damning.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be ultra reactionary, although honestly, to grow the podcast, we probably should be. But for as good as Salah has been this year in general, and how the dialogue has basically been Liverpool have to sign him. Why don't they have a contract ready for him? What the fuck is happening? I can't escape the feeling that he is mostly contributing via penalties this year. He is padding those stats Harry Kane style. I feel like with
he
a
is
lot
banging
of
a lot of penalties in this year.
He's contributing a lot of like playmaking and assists from open play, but I think
his goal scoring is not there.
The ratio of goals has shifted more from like more in open play to more in penalties. Yeah, and you know, when it comes down to this contract situation, that is the kind of thing that the data department, like Michael Edwards, will see. Like, his stats still look pretty good, but these contributions aren't coming in the same way that they have been over the years, you know?
Yeah. And what's it going to take to get a contract done? Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Big things to weigh up.
I've been pushing his sale for like 2 years on this podcast.
I know, right?
It's funny because people probably think I should be embarrassed about that given his performance over the last couple of seasons, and he has been great. But I still kind of stand by my opinion that we could have offloaded him for $100 million plus a while back. Now we're at this instance where his output is maybe starting to decline a little bit, and he's probably going to walk on a free.
Now you're at that awkward stage, where like, is he walk for a free, or do you give him a contract that you might end up regretting? Even if it is just 2 years, the money might be brutal.
Totally. Wild stuff at a time when it actually came out this week that Liverpool's wage bill is at an all-time club record high, something like 380 something million. But I think those stats are always just sound dramatic. I think in modern times, most clubs' wage bills are probably at an all-time high right now.
Inflation with the prices and everything of players, it makes sense.
Yeah, I would bet most clubs in the top half of the table are paying more now than they ever have been in the past.
Definitely.
Technical difficulties all the time in the pod. Well, we'll do some still photo inserts. I'm putting this episode up come hell or high water. So, folks, deal with that. Audio
You'll
folks,
just be looking at my dumb face.
YouTube folks, we'll find pretty pictures to plug in.
My face that first time I've clean shaven in like probably like 15 years. I feel.
Whoa, are you clean shaven? I have you in like a smaller. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Nice. Does it feel? It feels good, doesn't it?
It did feel nice to get a clean start. You know.
Yeah.
I kind of honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of missed the mustache a little bit already, but But I feel good to have a clean start with the facial hair.
I don't think I can grow a mustache at all. Fans of the YouTube will know that I am usually clean shaven. I get a little stubble going sometimes, but I think I shaved this morning. Yeah.
It's funny how once you start shaving though, you can't I can't let it go. If I do for like 2 days now, I'm like, I gotta shave.
Yeah, no, it bothers the hell out of me.
Freaking me out.
That's why I've never had facial hair, and when it gets a few days deep, it really drives me insane. I don't know how people deal with it.
I don't even know how I got to that point. Maybe it was probably just severe depression at some point in my life.
That's the worst mine has gotten, definitely. Like, it got weird in COVID a couple of times. All of my hair. I grew really weird long hair in COVID. It was awesome. I let Petya cut it, I think. Nice. And it was just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I need a haircut bad right now.
Remember how cool it was to just be a total weirdo in COVID? You could do whatever you wanted, just be weird as hell.
Didn't see people at all.
Man, the funniest thing about COVID was the family next door to me with the dad. We watched him just unravel, dude, being stuck in the house with his kids full time.
That's amazing. Is he like Dennis Reynolds in the episode where they live in the suburbs?
No, seriously,
he
dude.
just slowly melts down.
The guy next door to us in COVID really, truly did that.
That's amazing.
It started out like in the early weeks, there would be like a new backyard toy every week, you know? At first, like the week there was like a basketball hoop in their backyard all of a sudden, and he'd be like really mad that the little 5-year-old kid didn't want to play basketball. And then there'd be like a new like swing set or like a trampoline, or they were just like backyard toys just piling up.
Whatever you do to get him out of the house.
the kids would use all of them for like one day and then be back in the house. And then like later down in COVID, you just started hearing screaming coming from next door, like literally like 80s dad style, just rage screaming coming from the house next door. And of course, this is dark stuff.
It's so dark.
It's so funny, dude.
That's like a story that was happening around the world.
Around the
during
world,
this
yeah.
pandemic. I was about to say across the country, but literally around the world.
Yeah.
Fathers were losing their goddamn minds.
Parents, fathers or mothers that were never
true.
forced to actually be with their family full time suddenly had to be and just lost their shit. And it was
I don't blame them at all. It's insane.
The other funny half of that, the other part of that, just kind of image that's burnt into my mind, a COVID image, is going back out to the alley to take out the trash. In Chicago alleys, there's always rows of trash cans and recycling bins. And you could just see every single recycling bin overflowing with wine bottles and alcohol bottles. Like every single, you could look down the alley, you would just see piles of wine and booze bottles out behind every single house.
Yeah, it's pretty apparent how everybody was getting through it.
Yeah, people were on the struggle bus, dude.
Yeah. There's some of those people who got into whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Started their hobbies were just somehow based around alcohol or weed.
Right. I mean, obviously in Chicago, you're already in a city that condones alcoholism as a lifestyle, full blown. So, anyone that just needed the slightest little tap on the back to edge toward that lifestyle, man, a lot of people took it.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got onto that.
I don't know. That's funny.
Yeah.
Side tangent.
There were, fun times, dude. What is it? There's like a movie cliche that they say it's an ancient Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. And sadly, that is such a good curse. And we really, really do live in interesting times.
We are living in interesting times.
The COVIDs, the Trump presidencies, and the rise of fascism.
You know what was really interesting this week?
What?
It's funny. I feel like we're back in casual corner again.
We can stay in casual corner. This is a loosey goosey episode.
That's fine. We got into the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, and we got more on the horizon. We'll come back to the football, folks. Don't worry.
But we had a importer from Canada come down that we bought a few pallets from, and she was visiting West Michigan, and she came through.
Yeah,
and it was really somewhat comforting to listen to a Canadian melt down about their country. She was going off about Canada and bitching about so much stuff up there in the government,
similar kinds
and
of
all these things, and I was like, that something about that did lift a little weight off my chest of being like, okay, we're not the only we're only seeing our world, but we're not the only ones who are pissed off about how their country is being ran.
Yeah, that is some level of comfort. I mean,
it was like a very small amount of comfort, but for a brief moment, I was like, okay, we're not the only ones that hate our government.
Right. Yeah, I feel like violent revolution is on the horizon, Alex. Oops, I shouldn't say that on the podcast. You don't want that on the digital records with yeah, exactly. You never know what our government is going to be observing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But no, things are getting wild.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
People aren't happy, that's for sure.
Alex, I was working through the Arsenal-Chelsea game, but you weren't happy at the moment. I got 2 texts coming through and phone vibing in the pocket at work. What's going on here? I look down. First is how do we not score? That is
dominating, dude.
A great text, a feeling we've all felt when you're happy with the way your team is playing, but you're starting to feel a little tension by the fact that it just won't go in.
Yeah, waiting for the other team to steal a first goal and just piss you off.
And then a few minutes later, I got a text that I assumed that's what had happened. It just said, fuck off. So I was actually surprised to see the score was Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, folks. I had assumed that meant a Chelsea goal against the run of play.
No, Chelsea just being dickheads, dude.
Okay.
They were being dickheads that whole game. And I will say there was a moment where I had, I was waiting for Thomas Partey to be sent off. It was a second foul in a sequence, and he went in really high with the boot to try and win the ball. And definitely it was one of those that if it was given as a yellow, he could have been in trouble. They could have looked at it. Mm-hmm. So we got away with one there. But the chances or the tackles going the other way, man. Chelsea were ruthless.
Oh,
Those
really?
guys are a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah, they're starting to play it that way, aren't they? When things
Yeah.
don't go their way.
Yeah, they were like pouting weird because they were shit, especially in the first half. They were shit. They could not get a hold of the ball and do anything, and they just started putting in like shitty tackles. The Fafana got away with this like a stomping on the back of Declan's thigh. It was pretty frustrating stuff. I mean, overall the game was frustrating to watch in general.
That's the worst.
Arsenal weren't very fluid, and Chelsea weren't offering anything at all to the game, really.
You sound like me describing a Merseyside derby. The way the referee let the game go during the last time Liverpool had played Everton, and it's just Everton nonstop tactical fouling and just niggling stuff that stops the game from flowing a little bit here and there.
It was so annoying. And it just wasn't a great game to watch. Like I said, Chelsea offensively, like it showed, I guess, really. I mean, they've been kind of slowing down already, but how dependent they are on Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer getting dropped out of that lineup, all of a sudden that team looks completely
Offense
different.
just dries up. Yeah, and it's funny, we were celebrating the attacking qualities, or people generally were, of Chelsea in the first half of this season, but they are a kind of physical defensive team when you look at most of the midfielders they've signed.
I feel like they're more
pretty
Jose
combative
than anything now.
Yeah, they're a pretty physical and combative squad, honestly.
Yeah, and they definitely play with an attitude.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
They were like throwing in tackles. They were talking every whistle. Like it was heated from like the beginning.
The question is, will they stay good enough to remain like a relevant rival? Because that could be a team we'd love to hate in the future.
It's true. That is true. They might. I mean, we'll see if they can keep it together. We'll see if they keep Enzo, like give him a chance to actually build something.
Yeah.
He's kind of got a vibe of could be a good villain manager.
He does. He looks like a clone of Guardiola.
Yeah, a little more angry.
But he kind of has an angry vibe like Mourinho.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really could shape up to be a nice villain.
Did you see
I like that. I think that's a good call.
Did you see the incident between him and Urian Timber everyone was talking about?
Yes, I did.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
I mean, I think what happened right before that is Timber took a classic late in the game, trying to kill the game off foul in the back and kind of flopped hard, flopped down.
Yeah.
And Enzo was giving it to him immediately.
What was Timber saying? Calm down?
Timber said, try harder.
Try harder.
Try harder.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Try harder.
Try harder. Try harder.
And then he shook his hand and he goes, congratulations.
I mean, Alex, it's funny, obviously.
Yeah,
could you
stay
say
humble?
I was going to say shades of stay humble. You got to be careful.
There's got to be I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opposition fans calling that out to Arsenal fans, being like,
a little bit of
you guys were
hypocrisy
laughing
there.
about this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take the curse. You don't want to take over the curse.
I'm just curious what Enzo said to, like, what Maresca said to him. Like,
yeah,
why did he clearly provoked him into saying something, but
yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear anything from Maresca. I didn't know if I had missed part of the exchange.
I don't think any of the mic picked up anything he was saying.
Got it.
But yeah, it was funny. Also, I mean, Urian Timber is just so fucking good.
Yeah, he is.
God, that dude is good. I mean, it's funny because I was so worried with his injury. He looked like that when we first signed. That first summer we signed him, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's so he's everything you want in a defender. He's like can control the ball well. He's physical. Man, he's good. But that injury scared the shit out of me. But it seems like it didn't faze him.
That's good. Yeah, Arsenal pretty quietly put together that pretty killer back line with Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, and who am I missing? Someone else good?
I guess now it's Lewis Skelly on the left.
Lewis Skelly, right. I saw rumors this week that Saliba is going to be a top target for Real Madrid. What do you think about that?
I've seen there's been a lot of rumors about him being their number one target. I hate it, obviously. It would piss me off.
Yeah.
I think it would be an enormous fee because he's still got at least 2 years left on his current contract.
Yes.
So it could be one of those things where, like, if they did have to sell him, then they could build something with it. But he's also said all the right things about wanting to stay at Arsenal, wanting to win at Arsenal. But, that's cliche player stuff. We'll see what happens in the summer.
Yeah, that's all you can. That's all you can do, really. They say I think it's another bad cliche that coaches say. People being interested in our players just means we're doing the right thing.
Right,
But you kind of do have to take it that way. At a certain like when your players hit a certain level, they will be linked with Real Madrid or Barcelona at some point.
Yeah.
No, I mean the level of nonsense that link varies a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is just a sign, like, oh yeah, that means we have like the best player in that position, basically.
Yeah. He's and it's not like those rumors will ever go away. Even if he does re-up his contract in the summer for a bigger deal, like every summer, that's just going to continue to happen.
Yep.
It's not like that's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's just part of having the best players. You kind of have to roll your eyes at it a little bit.
Yeah, and hope for the best.
Yeah, until they all run down their contracts and are all available to leave on a free in the same summer.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a little bit more.
Then maybe you stop rolling your eyes and start looking at things a little more closely. But Chelsea, despite the loss, 1 point clear of Manchester City. They're in fourth place, City in fifth. The race for fourth place could not be any tighter. Although we should be saying the race for fifth, because as things stand, the Premier League is going to get an additional Champions League place based on UEFA coefficients. So the race for fifth place is super, super tight. City dropped down to fifth, still qualifying, but they have Newcastle and Brighton and even Fulham and Villa hot on their heels within 3 points. You know,
that pack of I think that has to be the most interesting like end of season mixture we've seen, right? Like that many teams involved in something
in the top, in like a top four race. Yeah. You mean in any kind of race, really? I guess.
Yeah,
whether it's relegation,
like
championship, or
that's huge.
Or top four
number of quality teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guessing who's going to get in that is a coin toss. I don't know how
it is a coin toss at the moment. We'll move on to that Brighton City game. City led twice. Brighton pegged them back for a 2-2 draw twice. Erling Haaland scored from the spot, much like Mo Salah style. But I think I would argue that Omar Marmoush was the star for City of that match. He won the penalty and scored the second goal in high fashion. Yeah, it was sick, right?
Yeah, Marmoush is starting to look like a bit of a player. That's a little concerning. Yeah,
he is a danger man, 100%. I don't know that he's stolen the spotlight from Haaland yet, but he's a shiny new toy, absolutely, at Man City.
Yeah, he looks dangerous as hell, and he can clearly finish. So
yeah, Did you see that Estupiñán free kick?
Oh yeah,
from about 25 yards out, angled across in off the inside of the post, which is the best.
So satisfying.
I think the keeper thought it was going wide.
Yeah, he kind of hesitated to watch it. And
then bong.
Perfectly bong. Yep. Whoop. Oh, that sucks.
Damn it. That's great stuff. Despite Marmoush and Haaland, I think Brighton probably still should have won that game. João Pedro had a chance clear through that he sent just wide.
Yep.
And then, later in the game, Brighton had an incredible
who was
chance.
The second
I can't
chance
quite.
They had there. Damn it.
I can't remember, but they had someone.
Players, I feel like.
Yeah, they had an incredible chance late in the game to win it, and definitely should have.
Yeah, that sucked. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, huge missed opportunity for Brighton. The win would have put them on 49 points in fourth place. Actually, never mind. Their goal diff is still have them below Chelsea, but the point is they would have leapfrogged City there.
Yeah.
Man, that's an interesting race.
Super interesting race. It's going to be fun to watch the rest of the way.
Yeah, Newcastle even have a game in hand over all those other teams. So if they win that, Newcastle will leapfrog both City and Chelsea into fourth place, pushing City into the Europa League spots. We'll keep an eye on that, folks.
Yeah, that's going to be... I mean, Newcastle, I hope that we'll see how they react to their Carabao Cup final win.
Right.
Maybe they'll, is that going to catapult them further up the table to the end of the season, or are they going to party it out and end up sitting pretty somewhere down in fifth or sixth?
Honestly, like you said, it's a coin toss right now.
Yeah, that team is kind of a coin toss in general.
Yeah,
I always think they should be so much higher up the table than they are.
Yeah,
because every time we play them, I'm like, this team's a pain in the ass.
Exactly,
they're so good.
You want to talk about Fulham too? Tottenham 0.
Ooh,
little London derby. West
Always
North
funny.
London Derby.
I think Iwobi was taking shots on Instagram.
Oh, was he? I didn't see that. Yeah,
He
got
like put a
anything good
post.
for
It
us?
was just like a post of him looking down at the camera, and it just said, "What do we think of?" I think it was like, "What do we think of shit?" or something like that.
The
Just
classic.
like the classic Arsenal chant.
Yes. I'll always associate with Jack Wilshere, obviously.
Yeah, the classic bus top moment.
You love a teenager in the first team because the teenagers are still too dumb that they'll just say anything.
Yeah,
you know,
they have no filter at all. They don't realize.
right? Harvey Elliott famously insulting Harry Kane in the first team for England before Elliott was anywhere near the England squad. I still don't think he is, or I don't know if he ever will be while Harry Kane's in the squad.
Right.
But I love
Hilarious,
a teenager
though.
just mouthing off on the socials.
Yeah, classic stuff. Just being a
Yeah.
kid.
Someone was mouthing off to Big Ange after that match. Did you see that? Tottenham
Oh, no.
fans screaming.
Again?
As he was. Yeah, and Ange got pulled into another conversation with the fans.
Oof.
I think the fan was just saying, "Ange, what was that? What was that?" And yeah, Big Ange took the bait once again and engaged with the trolls.
Oh man, that poor guy.
He is going through it. I said earlier on the pod that I've been going through it at work. That doesn't hold a
He's-
candle to what Big Ange is going through.
He is really going through it. I feel for him.
Right?
That is some brutal stuff. He needs to stop engaging, but I get it. It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Australians always have big mouths.
It's true. That is true.
So
They
he
like
just
to
can't
talk.
resist. God, we get so many Australians in the cafe here.
Really?
I
That's
guess
hilarious.
being like a west coastal city, just like so many. Yes, the foreign visitors come from different places than they do in Chicago.
That makes sense.
Do you know,
Yeah,
do you
it's
know what I
funny.
mean?
Yeah,
it's a lot of Aussies and a lot of Japanese, and
Aussies and Japanese
Aussies are
love
all,
coffee.
especially because it's in a coffee shop circumstance. Aussies cannot resist being the loudest people on earth, dude. Thinking they know goddamn everything.
Aussie's no coffee, dude.
It's so funny how they're more arrogant about it than even the French or the Italians.
Did you watch that James McCann clip I sent you yet? The
don't
one I
think
sent you a
so.
photo of
I
him
might have
talking about
missed it.
coffee in Australia.
No, is it funny? Oh, I'll
It's
have to watch
hilarious.
that.
You should watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's just ranting about how much he hates the pretentiousness of coffee in Australia, but then
They're the
like
worst.
talking about how amazing it is when he drinks it. He hates it.
Was that I saw a clip that like it said we know too much about how to make good coffee?
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it
that was it.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I didn't actually watch that. I got to go back. I got to revisit
It's
that.
funny. It's funny.
Just the sentence "we know too much about how to make good coffee" is very
Yeah.
funny.
It's just like an 8-minute rant about how stupid like getting into coffee is, but how amazing
Yeah.
it is at the same time.
Yeah, it pays off at the same time. It's true.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good stuff.
All right. Let's move on to Leicester 0, Manchester United 3. Leicester all but relegated. Manchester United going to celebrate any big win they can.
Yeah, they needed that one.
Yeah, they really did. A nice, convincing, casual win. Who doesn't love that for their club, even
Always
in the
feels
darkest
nice.
of times? Yeah. Bruno had a goal and an assist, which gave him 5 goals in a 7-day period in a calendar week, stretching back to his goal against Arsenal, a couple
Yeah.
in the Europa League. Bruno on form, Manchester United doing well. Those two things tend to go hand in hand.
Yep.
Is he the
seems to
only
be-
real player they have left at this point?
It feels that way. The way that team plays, it feels that way.
Yeah, it really can.
If he can't drag them over the line, they're not getting anything done.
Right? Their supposed savior, Sir Jim Ratcliffe,
Oh.
Knight of the Realm. He said this week in an interview that he would walk away from the level of abuse that the Glazers have been getting over the years, and he even just kind of griped a little bit about the Glazers. Did you see this interview?
No, I didn't see that one.
He was saying they've retreated to the shadows. They can't come to games. He's like, I don't need to be popular. I don't mind being disliked, but I'll walk away from the level of abuse that the Glazers have been getting over the years. I'm not here to take that. And yeah, gave his first hint that maybe he's not a long-term steward of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of hinted that he feels like he's been made the figurehead to take shots, and again hinted that he
Saying
might not
he's
be
not gonna
willing
put
to
up
do
with it.
so, not indefinitely anyway. Yeah.
Right?
Interesting interview.
That is. I thought you were going to bring up the Goofy Stadium, but you.
Oh, don't worry. I want to bring up the stadium too. How many times have I called this club a circus?
It's the perfect. It's like the most perfect thing ever.
Yeah, this club, dude. It looks literally like a circus tent. What are they doing?
It's a circus tent.
It's so humiliating, dude. It's so over the top grandiose. I didn't think a club or a stadium plan could look more grandiose and tacky than the one Hicks and Gillette proposed for Liverpool.
Did you
10
see
years
Gary
ago.
Neville? Gary Neville talking to him about it.
No, was he actually stoked on it?
Yeah, I mean, he was just talking about how beautiful, like the beautiful stadium and how and like. You can't be serious, man. You can't be an old United head and look at that and say, this is what I want my club to be playing in.
Right. It really, seriously, it's so
absurd.
It really harkens back to the story that came out when they were pursuing Jurgen Klopp before he came to Liverpool. And supposedly Ed Woodward at the time had said that it's Disneyland for adults. He described Manchester United as Disneyland for adults.
That's literally
and
what that
Klopp
stadium
was like,
looks
no,
like.
thank you. They haven't seemed to move past that idea that they want to be an actual circus.
It looks like the Magic Kingdom now that you say that, dude. It's like, what is happening?
It looks more like an amusement park or theme park than it does a football stadium. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
truly
ridiculous, dude.
I mean, United fans, if you want to get mad about something, you guys got to get mad about that.
Yeah, honestly.
You cannot let your club do that to you.
No, dude, it's corny. Maybe in real life it'll look more serious somehow. But that's the
Maybe.
thing. I feel like that's a stadium that even if all goes as well as it possibly can go, the first time you see it, you might be like, whoa, this is different, or this is a spectacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might be in awe of that. But I feel like 5 years later, that stadium is just going to look like an absolute joke. It's going to age like...
It's going to age horribly. And then like
age
having
like
to
milk.
go to that for every weekend for your rest of your time as a football fan, as your
Yeah.
home's football, like it's going to be so frustrating.
Especially if the team is not good. Because the team is currently not good, and all the news coming out of the club is that they can't afford to make it good anytime soon.
Yeah. And they're talking about building this monstrosity of a stadium.
Yes. And also, did you see they kind of rode on Liverpool's coattails in the announcement? Again, Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming through with the gold quotes. He said he said, he wants to make it the national stadium of the North. And he said, North England deserves a national stadium. We have 9 European Cups between us, or 10, I guess it is. 10 European Cups in the North. He didn't mention that 6 of those are Liverpool's and 1 of those is Manchester City's. So like that's an embarrassing brag when you're leaning heavily on your great rival's achievements to justify this thing.
Yeah, that's brutal.
In the marketing materials for the announcement, that's tough, dude. That's a bad look. Funny stuff from Manchester United as usual. Even on the heels of a big win, we can find ways to laugh.
Yeah. It's so funny that it almost doesn't feel real at this point.
I wonder
that they're in as big of a mess as they are.
I just realized we started the season out trying to be more positive or at least neutral about Manchester United.
We did.
Boy, they've made it hard for us, and we've kind of resorted to just dogging them nonstop again. But how can we resist that, folks?
I mean, I think United fans have to be dogging their own team right now.
I was just gonna say I just mentally had the question, like, I wonder if Graham still listens to us or if it's been too difficult. Like, I would stop listening to the football ramble at times when Liverpool were shit because I just can't. I'm like, I just don't want to listen to the boys dogging on us for 45
and
minutes.
they go hard. I feel like they'd always go hard on Liverpool too.
Yeah, for a time, Lukey Moore definitely, I felt like, really did not like Liverpool.
I feel like he did not like Liverpool at all.
Yeah, I got mad at him for a period of time. I feel like he was taking cheap shots, but that's me being personally.
Yeah, I mean, they always
I was going to say,
Arsenal too.
If Graham feels the same way about us, I'm saying I understand, buddy, and I'm sorry about that. I'll try not. I'll try to be less diggy, less petty. I love being petty though. Being petty is so fun.
It is fun.
Underrated. You don't watch White Lotus, do you?
No, I need to.
Okay. Parker Posey's in the new season just being like a southern, like white, horrible woman.
I feel like I've seen clips of that.
Yeah, her accent is going viral a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
But she is so funny, dude.
I like
She's
Parker
incredible.
Posey, dude. She's fucking amazing.
She's the best. Doing like an insane Southern accent, her being like a billionaire's wife that's just doped up on opioids, saying insane things. It's the best.
That's perfect. That's like a perfect thing for her. Like her
Yeah.
over the top character work is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. That's what she exists to do. Just be like the most dramatic person imaginable.
She's
Best
great
in
at it.
show, her being insane and best in show, of course, iconic.
Iconic. Her being Leslie's best friend in Parks and Rec. She's
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Wow.
her best friend that betrayed her and moved to Eagleton.
Yeah, that's right. How did I forget about that? Just wonderful appearance. Because
Yeah.
they kind of obviously they can't have Parker Posey long term on that show, but
of course.
so they kind of replace her with K-Bell, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
She kind of becomes the face of Eagleton. I think that's why I forgot about Parker Posey.
Yeah, she just comes. Parker Posey's in the very beginning of that whole drama.
Yeah.
Like they have like the garbage fight.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, that character is very much in the vein of what she's doing on White Lotus, except even turned up to like 11.
Yeah, way more intense for it's not NBC sitcom.
Speaking of HBO, the greatest television network, Righteous Gemstones is also back. Are you watching Gemstones?
No, I actually do. I don't even think I have HBO right now.
Oh, really? We'll take this off the pod, but I'll give you my login.
Yeah.
I just signed back up for it.
Nice.
Because of White Lotus and Gemstones. I was like, I can't not do these two shows. They're the best things.
I definitely need.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch White Lotus too. I want to watch that.
Having
but-
those both on right now, I think they're like the two best things ever, and it's weird
Yeah.
to have them both on TV at once. So yes, I'll give you my HBO login. You gotta get up on that.
That's time.
Great stuff.
That's time to re-up your HBO for that.
Yeah, for sure. And Netflix out, HBO in, dude.
Yeah,
Do the
They just
do the
canceled
rotation.
Netflix. I already did that.
Yeah, me too. There's honestly like nothing. Netflix is background noise to me. It has an abundance of really nice background stuff to watch. You know what I
Well,
mean?
It's funny because you're saying that, and the only thing I saw an ad just before we jumped on for Everybody's in LA. The John
Oh.
Mulaney's coming back,
That's right.
and
That's right.
I was like, oh wait, that's the one thing I would want to watch on Netflix now. But
Yeah,
I'll wait for that stuff to like kind of pile up a little bit, and then go back onto Netflix and watch it.
Yeah, I forgot about Mulaney. I've been seeing clips of that too, and of course, it's awesome.
It's gonna be awesome, but I don't really need to watch it live. I don't think. I don't need to
No.
re-sign up for Netflix for that.
I do. I like the novelty that it's live. It creates an element of chaos in it.
Yeah.
But to me, the experience, like, I don't need to watch it live.
No, I don't need to watch
Yeah,
it live. I'll watch it back,
definitely.
and it'll be just as entertaining.
Yeah, I still go back and watch now it's just called Everybody's Live. It's not specifically
Ah,
LA
okay.
anymore. In fact, I think it's shooting in New York.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I still go back to LA, and it's the best, dude. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, that was such an epic series.
Yeah.
It was so good.
The episode with Letterman on it, when Mulaney, and I think it's the Earthquakes episode, and he's just talking to like a seismologist back and forth for like 10 minutes, and Letterman's just like, am I in the right place? He's like, what the fuck is happening, dude? It's so good.
Dude, the random guests on there, the scientists and stuff that like
Yeah.
weren't like TV trained clearly were my favorite
Exactly.
thing ever. They were
That's-
so funny.
That's the magic, dude. It's David Letterman and then plus a random scientist that
Yeah.
has never been on TV before.
And John's just throwing random questions at the scientist.
Yes.
And they're
it's-
just like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Oh man, and in that first episode, Will Ferrell, dude, I forget what music producer, like 70s music producer he's supposed to be. But
But he's like sitting in the front row.
it's honestly I think some of the best Ferrell I've seen, dude, since like the peak days. Yeah, dude, when he's just he interrupts the show like a half a dozen times after his initial sketch.
Yeah,
and it is just solid gold, dude. Jerry Seinfeld's on the couch in that episode, and he's just killing Seinfeld. Dude, Seinfeld is dying,
Which
which
is
you
so
don't
funny.
see.
It's
Not-
impossible to kill Seinfeld.
I think very few comedians actually make Jerry Seinfeld laugh based on what I've seen. You know,
Even if he respects him, I feel like he's usually just like, that was good.
yeah, no, that's kind of like a dry, straight, kind of a jerk New York
Yeah.
guy thing. That's who he is.
Yeah.
You don't see him like keeling over laughing very often.
You really don't.
Okay.
I had to buzz on my watch. I wanted to make sure something didn't stop my camera.
Yeah, we've already had one video cut, but it's okay. We're going on an extra long episode, I think. We got lots of stuff left to talk about coming up on an hour. It's going to be sick. We haven't gotten out of the
Next.
Champions League yet. Let's see
No.
here. I want to. Maybe I'll actually edit this and move it back to the start, but I wanted to talk about the Premier League title still. On the tail end of Arsenal winning once again, Liverpool losing in the Carabao, obviously.
Yeah.
We now have the same amount of games played, 9 games remaining, 12-point gap.
12-point gap.
Liverpool playing like dog shit is the element that I want to introduce to this conversation.
Okay.
Listen, 9 games is 27 points.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
tell me that Liverpool in this form aren't going to drop more points. Man, I mean, I know we've already done the breakdown of who's going to lose points, where, yada, yada. I am still nervous that we could get a 1989 situation with Arsenal storming back, Arsenal visiting Anfield on May 10th.
Maybe to bring things back
Bro.
in play again.
If Arsenal snatch the title from us late in the season, that match on May 10th, I still think has potential to be absolutely massive. I think the points gap is going to shrink between now and then.
It's interesting. We got Saka coming back. Martinelli's looking good coming back from his injury. Things are kind of looking a little rosier over at Arsenal right now.
Dude, I am stressed about it, I got to say. We looked bad. We looked bad against PSG. We looked terrible against Newcastle. And obviously, we won our last game in the league, but it was Southampton. And we still let them score first.
It's true. That is true.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of football left to play.
Be honest, do you feel any hope still regarding the league title?
I felt a little more hopeful after the Chelsea game.
Okay.
No, I think I was feeling pretty much like it was dead, like everyone was saying before that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's you're not wrong. Liverpool have had some slip ups lately. Couple of like heartbreaking dropping out of cups, not looking in the best form. It's starting to make me think if we can get a little closer, or if you guys drop a couple points and we win a couple games, I feel like if we can just close that gap a little bit to put the pressure on, it could get interesting.
Yeah, it really, really could. I don't have an answer when I'm wondering if this is just a blip. Teams go through blips. Or if we're just exhausted. Slot hasn't done a lot of rotation.
It's true.
And I wonder if we're running out of fuel a little bit.
What's that? It's 4 games, right? 4. You guys lose 4, we win 4.
Yeah,
that's what it's gonna take.
It's not unrealistic.
It's not. I mean, it's crazy how quickly that shifts.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm just wanted it out there that I'm still stressed about this. You know, I think we're seeing a little bit of, Liverpool were knocked out of the Champions League. Oh, now they lost the League Cup. They're gonna have to settle for just the Premier League.
Which is such a funny thing to say.
Is that a disappointing season if they just win the Premier League? I'm like, y'all, we really shouldn't be assuming that right now. You know? I
mean, really all the media has basically fully given Liverpool the title already.
They absolutely have for a couple of weeks now, and it's annoying me a tiny bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you don't also, I mean, not that your players don't know what it takes to win a title, but like, if you're constantly hearing that it's over, it's done, it's wrapped up, it's over, like that does maybe sink into your subconscious a little bit.
Yeah, it can.
We'll see.
Sure can. Alex, we're, I think, 2-3 weeks out from the next round of Champions League games. Let's actually skip the Champions League bracket for now. I know we have Arsenal, Real Madrid on the horizon, and you're probably very excited to talk about that, and I promise we will come on to that.
We'll talk plenty about that, I'm sure, but...
Let's skip ahead. Footballers are getting caffeine injections. Apparently, that's their most popular method of consuming caffeine.
Injections now, huh?
Yeah. The Athletic put out a feature on caffeine consumption in the Premier League. Apparently, it's become majorly popular. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
It's interesting.
It's funny that it's being talked about as kind of a modern scientific revelation in a way, because the whole world is fueled by caffeine. I deal with caffeine. Both of us deal with caffeine junkies all day.
Exactly. We literally peddle caffeine all day
We're
long.
the dealers. It was banned by WADA, the Sporting Drug Administration, for a long time. I think until the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, which is interesting to think about, players not being allowed to have caffeine, but has since obviously become a huge thing. South American players are known to be like chugging yerba mate. Sorry,
yerba mate.
That's what I was trying to say. Yerba mate. You can't see a picture at the Liverpool training ground without at least one player with a little yerba mate.
I forgot about the yerba mate obsession with the South Americans.
Jamie Vardy, I think, is a great pioneer of caffeine culture, having famously consumes 3 Red Bulls and a double espresso before training. That's his intake, which it sounds insane, right?
That is a lot of caffeine.
According to the Athletic article, it actually is within the doctor recommended daily limit, which is 400 milligrams. I think the Athletic added up that to 350 milligrams of caffeine.
Wait, you're telling me it's okay for me to chug that many Red Bulls in a day and drink? So I'm not unhealthy? Is that what you're
3
saying?
Red Bulls and a double espresso before 11:30 a.m., which I think was training time.
Holy shit, that's a lot of caffeine.
That's only Jamie Vardy. But yeah, just a couple weeks ago, there was also a feature at Sky Sports about Liverpool's coffee bar and their training lab. Arne Slot said it's become a crucial center of socialization for the players and bonding. And they have a lot of nice Instagram pictures of the players hanging out at the little cafe.
Cafe brings community, Todd.
Can you imagine how much I would love to be Liverpool's house barista?
Oh my God, that would be the best job ever, dude.
I mean,
just chopping it up with the boys, slinging coffee.
I think my dream is to be a professional podcaster to talk about, but to be a barista privately for Liverpool Football Club would be astounding, and I would be better at it than anybody.
You got the resume for it. Why not go for it?
These sons of bitches, dude.
Your coffee background's finally going to pay off.
I don't know if I can get a work permit post-Brexit.
Oh, that's true. Those sons of bitches. I don't know.
But yeah, Alex,
your resume can't be found anywhere else in that country. So
no, definitely not. But anyway, yeah. So Liverpool's coffee bar has been huge. Arne Slot loves it. Says it's crucial. Nevertheless, players their most popular methods of ingestion are injection, which we already said, but I think is insane. Of all the ways to get caffeine.
There's delicious ways to get caffeine. Why not?
Obviously, it's going to hit your bloodstream faster, but come on, unless you're like literally jumping off the bench at the last minute and need it.
Yeah, and get it injected right before you come on or something like
right,
that.
Which leads me to the second most popular method, caffeine gum, which apparently is what players do when they're being brought off the bench. They chew a stick of gum.
That makes sense.
Gives them, I think. The article said like coffee can take up to an hour to deliver all of its caffeine, whereas the gum can deliver its total caffeine content in like 10 minutes.
Uh-oh.
So, Alex, all of this leads me to the question, how do we get Littlefoot into this mix?
I know. Littlefoot's got to get in the football game somehow here.
Should you develop a gel or a gum, maybe? A coffee gum?
Dude, we should do coffee gum.
Right? How do you develop gum? I don't even know.
I have no idea where to begin with that.
I've made gummies, and those went pretty well. Actually, gummies might be the answer. Yeah, that's close enough to gum.
Yeah, it's the same thing, basically.
Who doesn't like a little packet of fruit snacks?
Just like munch a couple fruit snacks before you go out and play?
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Littlefoot shaped fruit snacks?
Yeah, little monsters. That sounds incredible, dude. I think you should do that. Just so happens Grand Rapids is getting a professional soccer team in the coming years. I see collaborative opportunities here.
Ooh, if anything, we at least need to be in that and get them cafe. We need to start sending them all that stuff from Slot saying how important the cafe is for their team.
Dude.
And saying, hey, let's build a cafe in your stadium.
Your team obviously needs a club cafe.
Yeah. It's got to build the community amongst the team.
Not in the stadium, in the training center. Stadium, they'll rope you into serving the public.
No,
you don't want
that.
Yeah.
No,
you want the training center, just coaches and players. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, classy stuff.
Right?
It's a great idea, honestly.
It is. And I expect a cut of those sales when that happens.
Yeah, we got to make that happen. Got to make that happen.
Yeah. Should we talk MLS?
Yeah.
Did you see Lionel Messi scored a sick goal against
I was gonna
Atlanta this
say,
round?
Yeah, that Messi goal was a throwback, man.
Pretty classic Messi. Wins the ball back on a press. I don't know what that defender was doing trying to play that ball out.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I feel like the commentators were trying to put it on the keeper for passing out from the back, but there were actually like 3 good passes made to try and play out of that press before that defender decided to take a touch with Lionel Messi bearing down on him.
Yeah, he clearly did not respect Messi at his age.
No, he didn't.
To pip that right off of him and go.
Suarez was there to the right. He wanted the ball laid off for a tap in, but Messi gave a little dink to the far post, and it was
dink.
awesome. Sick stuff.
Lovely dink finish.
Yeah. Outside of Messi land, your LA Galaxy, current defending champions, sit rock bottom in the Western Conference. 1 point on the board after 4 games played.
Ouch.
Am I already off the bandwagon before I even got on it?
Jump into LAFC immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, where's LAFC? Oh, they're up near the top.
You saw cool boy Giroux hanging out, dude.
Dude, Giroux looked like such LA trash in that photo.
Honestly, Giroux's an extremely handsome man, but
he's such a good-looking guy.
He also had the kind of like handsomeness that can be easily turned into trash bro.
Yeah.
Like so quickly. And like throwing on a baseball hat and we'll do that to him.
Oversized hoodies are back in fashion, a la 2000, 2001, like Todd
oversized
high school
hoodie
years.
and like baggy jeans.
You show me a white guy in like an XXL hoodie with thin facial hair, and he's a little bit sun bleached too, because he is kind of a pale Euro, and so his skin's kind of red from the LA sun. I'm like, this guy looks like trash, dude. I know that's wrong. It's Ollie,
He's
dude.
a beautiful man, but yeah, no, he gets that. He can get that way real quick.
Yeah.
With the wrong fashion choices.
I can't remember what female comic I heard complaining about the way men dress in this town, but if you're following fashion trends in LA, you do dress bad. People would be dressing bad right now, dude.
Yeah, the fashion trends are in some of the worst places we've seen right now. I mean, since we were kids in this era of fashion.
Right. Pretty
It's
terrible stuff.
I hate it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm ignoring it. I'll just be a middle-aged man that still wears Levi 501s, properly fitted T-shirts, and a couple button-downs. Basic white guy stuff.
I was gonna say that's a classic though. That stuff never goes bad.
A pair of Levi's will never go out of style. I'm old enough to know that. I've said that since my 20s, but I'm old enough to be sure of that now.
Yeah, like a decent fitted pair of jeans, like a nice pair of Levi's. Yeah, and like you said, just like anything, like a simple top that fits well.
Yeah,
it's always gonna look good.
You know what's really funny? Full circle on the customer in my cafe that I thought had to be working in porn, or maybe was an OnlyFans, or at the very least was a very sleazy Instagram influencer. Yeah, I found out she is a singer and pop star who blew up on TikTok, as they do these days. Not only that, she is a Christian pop star.
No, really?
This girl could not be more hoed out, and she's a Christian pop star. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, right? Dude, I noticed one of her big singles is called "Pray," pray with a Y, not an E. And I did a couple times. I was like, huh, when I saw that, and then just on Sunday, she actually introduced herself to me. She was like, "You're here all the time." I was like, "Yeah, I fucking know." She's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "I'm Todd." I'm like, "What's your name?" I acted like I didn't know.
Yeah, of course.
What's your name? "Oh, I'm Jesse." I was like, cool. Her friend, yada yada, Claire, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. What are y'all up to?" "Oh, just went to church, just having a nice little Sunday." And I was like, "Kids these days are so crazy, dude." This girl comes into the cafe all the time, looking like she just walked off an OnlyFans set.
Dude, the modern Christian is a
she's
weird
coming from
thing,
church.
Man.
Yeah, dude, she's coming from church. There's a really hip mega church in the neighborhood, which I wasn't aware of, which kind of things are starting to come together now.
It's probably making a lot of sense now with your clientele.
It's deeply ironic, given how frustrated I was working in Holland, Michigan, and
how did you end up?
Dude,
with this like the cooler version of the clientele out there.
There are parallels, dude. There are surprising parallels between Santa Monica and West Michigan.
Dude, that is so weird.
Well,
That's
Santa
weird
Monica
thought.
is definitely like the conservative. You know how in
Okay.
Chicago when you see election maps and it's all blue, but there's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one weird neighborhood up by O'Hare that is always
where
like
all the
red.
cops
There's
live.
one red neighborhood. I feel like that's Santa Monica.
That's Santa
in LA.
Monica.
Yeah, it's pretty conservative and white with an H, with an
Yeah.
audible H. Yeah, there's
That's so weird.
I shouldn't be surprised. Not that it's a bad thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's an odd
It's just
neighborhood.
a weird world we're living in. Growing up in like a place like growing up just being able to tell Christian, like hardcore Christian people.
Yeah.
You could just spot them by seeing them out.
Yeah.
And now they just look like all the other cool kids.
I
But
mean,
they go to church.
people that listen to this pod, if they don't know me well, might think I'm being like stodgy or old fashioned. I assure you, I do not like body shame women for hoeing out or like, judge women for the way they dress. I'm just saying this girl dresses like I
But
really
to be like
thought,
a Christian.
genuinely thought she was coming from porn sets. I'm not even kidding. And she was coming
you
from
did say that
church.
to me. You're like, I think there's a porn star that's coming into the shop all the time.
Yeah. No.
Like, nope, she's a Christian pop star.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite, I guess. I mean, that is wild. That is modern Christianity, you know?
Right.
It's weird.
On the other hand, I feel terrible. If I found out she listened to this, I'd feel so bad 'cause she's so nice. So
Oh
I
my
shouldn't
God.
be talking shit. She's a total sweetie pie. Her boyfriend is too. Very sweet kids. They're babies and they love Jesus, and it's fine. It's great.
I was going to say, a
just
lot of the people
surprising
that
to
come
me.
into our shop at Littlefoot are the same way. They're super
Yeah.
sweet people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it always just
absolutely.
catches me off guard a little bit. You know, we grew up in a very different world of Christians.
Definitely.
So it throws us off a little bit.
Yes. It's tough to relate to, even as people that were raised in Christian communities.
The Christian community.
Anyway, let's jump over to Bulgaria. Let's do one for Lil
Yeah.
P. This one's for you, P. We got a great little bit of Bulgarian football news, the top league. Arda Vilevski this week. I think a game played out to a 1-1 draw. Before the game, Arda held a minute's silence for the death of a former player, Petko Gonchev. Again, sorry, Petya, if I'm mispronouncing that. The minute of silence was an awkward one because not only is Petyo Gonchev not dead, but he was in the audience at the time. And he's not even old. I saw a picture. He's like 50. He's like 50.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yes. Imagine sitting in the crowd before a match. You're out at the football for the day, getting ready, and the stadium holds a minute's silence for your death.
your death, and you're
you
like-
see like an emotional picture of you up on the big screen if they have one at Arda. Apparently, he
that's
complained
awesome.
and informed them, and an apology was issued at halftime. Which
did
is
you fuck
even
that up?
funnier. Even funnier. I don't know, but I absolutely love that bit of news. Honestly, Bulgarian football news is often very fun. I think we
that's
need to
brilliant.
keep
We
a
need to
closer
start-
eye on it.
We need a Bulgarian corner for the pod, dude. That is
Maybe a
hilarious
Balkan
stuff.
corner. Yeah.
Some funny stuff.
That's great stuff, dude. Sorry, P, but you know it. You know the truth.
I mean, that's classic. That's classic stuff. So funny.
I think that just about brings us to the end, Alex. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on? I haven't seen any cat cameos this week. That's disappointing.
They're both being super cute just behind the camera.
Tell the
they're
boys, tell them to stop being so selfish, and I'm upset, and I miss them.
They've made themselves perfectly cozy in my clean laundry on the bed. And now Gravy is laying on top of Twigs. Twigs trying to ignore him, but being forced to cuddle as usual.
Gravy, the sweetest cat of all time.
Yeah, Gravy
It's funny
gets
because
no
Twigs
love
is
around
too.
here.
Twigs is such a good boy too. God damn it, those cats.
Yeah, Twigs I think is a product of my brief moment of actually living alone with him.
Yeah,
Where he's like my little buddy. He's my
it was
desk buddy.
just very chill, computer games and hangs.
Yeah, we just sit in my room and he'd just chill on my desk or on top of my computer while we played games.
Man,
And
that's
now
awesome.
that's his whole vibe now.
Yeah.
Although, God, I can't watch anything on my computer because he comes and he flops and then he hits my mouse, then he hits my keyboard and skips stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, God, Twigs, you're too big for this now.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
I need a bigger desk.
He's worth it
right now.
He's worth
He
it,
is
dude.
worth it. He's a good
guess
boy.
you got to get a bigger desk. Although if
Yeah.
you're talking about that desk that I left in that room, it's a pretty big desk already.
Yeah, I know. You're telling me. He still finds a way to fuck shit up constantly.
I got a
up
little
there.
compact desk that I bought that I actually really like, but yeah, space is
Yeah.
tight. There's no room for Twigs on this desk.
I mean, Twigs is not a small cat. He's a big boy.
All right, I think that's it.
Y'all.
Folks, thank you so much. This is 74, take 3. Takes 1 and 2. Well, I'm going to salvage clips from them at least. I roped
feel like
Alex
we had
into
some-
recording.
We had some
There's
good
good-
stuff in there. I
There's
feel like.
bits in there. Yeah. I think I have time now.
Yeah, your schedule is going to be normal for once.
Yeah, exactly right. The surprise quit baristas have quit. The other barista that was gone for a week is back, and there's new baristas coming. So I think I
Nice.
might be able to have a life outside of work.
Reinforcements on
in
the
the
way.
coming weeks. Yeah. So get ready for more soccer situations. Hopefully, branch out soon. Get some guests going here.
Let's get some stuff moving.
Yeah.
We got a good run in. We got Champions League run-ins to look at. We got a good Premier League run-in.
Yeah, I'm so sad we're out of the Champions League, but the fixtures are incredible in the quarterfinals. So
Yeah,
I'm looking
it
forward
feels
to
weird
talking
to
about
see
it.
with you guys being knocked out, but yeah, it's still going to be a fun one.
Oh man, I was so sad. I was definitely petty about it too. I was like, fucking Arsenal's still in the Champions League and we're not. This doesn't seem right. This isn't right. This is backwards.
Yeah, right, dude. It's our time.
I hope so, Alex. I'm pulling for you now. You know I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we are.
that's good.
I think we're kind of a lot of the neutral fans, underdog favorites right now.
I hope so. Things are really clicking into gear with Mbappe over in Madrid. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. We'll
It's
see how
gonna be
good the Premier League actually is.
Soccer situation.